Is it time? Is it time to talk about Dune Part 2? I think it is. I think it is. So this is going to be a spoiler-filled talk about Dune Part 2. So if you have not seen it, you need to go watch the movie before you watch this video. But if you're interested, my video's up there. My review, my non-spoiler review of Dune Part 2 is there. So, check that out if you haven't. But otherwise, let's just get into it. I have a sneaking suspicion that Warner Brothers delayed Dune Part 2 outside of 2023 and into 2024 because Barbie was such a success for them. And they were like, we need another heavy hitter in 2024. What else we got? Let's just delay Dune Part 2 in there. Now, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, and I haven't heard anybody else say that, but it makes sense to me. And something else that probably didn't factor into the decision at all, but Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan seem to be pretty friendly. Like they it's a friendly competition between the two of them. I feel like if Dune Part 2 had come out in 2023, Oppenheimer wouldn't have won so many awards. That's just a thought too. So it might actually leave room for both of them to succeed, but anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Now into the spoilers. I found the romance between Paul and Chani really well done. And it was one of those things where I felt like it was going to be a slow part of the movie, but I enjoyed every bit of it. Like they're sort of, I don't know, ribbing on each other and stuff like that, and then her starting to defend him against the other Fremen. I just thought that was kind of cool, and I really enjoyed that part of it, and I think it's the heart of the movie. And if that isn't done right, then the rest of the movie just doesn't work. I mean, the rest of the movie can be interesting and cool and oh wow, big explosion, but if that doesn't work, then the rest of the movie kind of hinges on that. Now, if you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you might know this about me. I don't typically see things coming when I'm watching a movie. Like I don't think ahead. I don't go, "Oh, okay, I'm really interested in this, but who did this? Who did the murder or who did the, you know what I mean? I don't think ahead. So I'm typically pretty surprised by things when things happen, right? Well, I know this story, I'd say fairly well. I'm not like a huge Dune fan, but I know it pretty well. And I know that okay, I mean even if you don't know the story, oh, what is he going to fail to ride the sandworm? I mean, no, he's going to succeed in that. And even though I knew of these things coming, I was still captivated by the images, the way that things were executed. I also mentioned a scene in the non-spoiler review about a scene that the way that it was shot just kind of made me shake my head. I didn't want to say what it was just in case. I just didn't want to spoil it for anybody. When Paul is on the dune and he's waiting for the sandworm to come, from however many feet, miles, whatever away, and he's out of focus as the sandworm is approaching and the camera is just slowly, oh man, the way that it looked, it's a simple, probably a simple scene, but man, it was so effective. And the way that it was captured was it was just gorgeous. Now, if I remember correctly, in the book, there's actually a time jump, like a significant time jump. Wasn't was it Alia? Is that her name? Basically, Leto and Jessica's daughter. Isn't she already born and she's like a kid in the book? I can't remember, but I just remember her being really creepy in the book. Even more creepy in the movie because the movie just kind of, you know, it basically just picks up from the last one. So there's not a whole lot of time that takes place between the end of the first movie and the beginning of the second. So she's still pregnant and she's having conversations with this baby, and that's creepy and awesome. I really enjoyed that. And I gotta say, Anya Taylor Joy is one of those people that she's sort of a she's just got a presence about her, and her appearance was like almost ethereal, and it was kind of awesome. I mean, I didn't expect it. I didn't know that she was going to be in the movie. I didn't see any of the news on that. I tried to stay away from as much Dune 2 news as possible after I saw that first trailer because I was like, okay, I'm going to see it. I don't want to know anything else. I just want to go in and enjoy the movie. man, that was a surprise, and it was like I said, pretty creepy. I mentioned Javier Bardem as Stilgar in my non-spoiler review, and how much I enjoyed his performance. I mean, it's his belief, his unquavering belief in Paul is fun and funny, but it's also sincere, and I really enjoyed the way that it was done. I mean, sometimes this belief was almost played for laughs, and I don't know. I was kind of actually wondering if people that were, like heavily religious people might take offense to that. The way that it's almost played that way, like, oh, these silly people that have faith. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I think that it really served the film to have that kind of character in the movie, and I think Javier Bardem just he killed it. The Black Sun, that whole sequence was just visually striking, and I mean, of course, it's a fun scene. It's super violent. It gives you a lot of information about who Fade Rotha is. It was awesome, but I was sitting there just going, man, it's like Denis and Greg Fraser, the cinematographer, just kept pushing the boundaries of what they were going to do. And I loved it. It's visually a treat. That's what it is. It's a treat. And I mean, if you're going to be watching this, I don't want to be one of those people, but look, if you're going to be watching this at home or on a phone or on an iPad or something like that, you're just not going to get the same level of just immersion that you get when you're in the theater. And I mean, I've said this before, but you can only watch a movie for the first time once. So make that a good one. And the assaults on the harvesters were just visceral and exciting and just like, I mean, heart pumping, right? I mean, those were awesome. They were just so great. And I mean, it could be part of it. Like I said, I think in my non-spoiler review, I feel like the theater had it turned up just a little too loud. So some of those sounds were intense. But man, I really loved the way everything was shot. The action when it comes to, shooting the like missile launcher to the ornithopters. That's awesome. But even the hand-to-hand combat feels deliberate and violent and just awesome. Now, I don't know if it's because of the connection that I think that Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan have, but I felt like, in a weird kind of way, this is almost like a companion piece to Oppenheimer. The use of nuclear weapons, I guess the thought of having to use that kind of power against your enemies and what it might do to affect the rest of the people still living on the planet. I thought that was really kind of interesting. I almost wanted more from those conversations, but it was still kind of cool. And I don't know if I'm the only one who thought that, but I did. I thought it. This is just a question. This isn't something that I felt in the theater, but it's something that my wife mentioned. She mentioned that she felt that Paul's turn, his almost heel turn, was a little too fast, and his kind of acceptance of, okay, I'm gonna be this Messiah. It just kind of happened. And he's like, 1 minute he's like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. And then all of a sudden he's like, give me all your power. You know what I mean? Like, did anybody else feel that kind of like it was too quick? I don't know. I didn't feel it, but I guess I can kind of see how some might feel that. All that being said, though, his performance when he finally takes the stage, and Jessica is kind of willing him to take it slow, and he's just going all out. It was just awesome. And to me, it's the moment where I think in this movie where you kind of feel Chalamet's power. You feel his ability, and it helps when you have a character like Stilgar who looks up to Paul and believes Paul is the Messiah. And yeah, and it's just the way that everything plays out, just awesome. I need to see it again. I talk about the fights, and I talk about how there's so much power in their movements, and it feels like a real fight. That fight between Paul and Fade was great. And the way that it's shot, I mean, it's gorgeous. And it's like you could do just a simple fight, but to have it kind of them silhouetted against the sun, it's just beautifully done. Beautifully done. But the moment in the trailer that I was waiting for, that I was just really, really excited for, was him saying silence to the Bene Gesserit. Just, man, the power of that. It's so great. And with the sound design again, it just really kind of, it stamps it, you know what I mean? And it makes you feel that power. And that's, man, come on. This movie's great. I'm going to have to steal a line from Robert Meyer Burnett when he says that this movie is metal. And yeah, I got to say, this is one of the most metal movies I've ever seen. There are shots that are so like awe-inspiring and awesome that you just feel that power, and it feels awesome. And that's just, I don't know how else to say it. It's what I said when I came out of the theater to my wife. I said this is the most metal movie I've seen in a long time. Now I know there's things that I've probably forgotten to talk about, because there always is. There always is something where I'm like, oh man, I should have said that. But yeah, I'd like to hear from you. What were your thoughts on Dune Part 2? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I mean, this is, like I said, it's as close to perfect as we've gotten from a movie in years. And I'm sure with rewatches, I'm going to find some things that are like, I didn't care for that so much. But right now, I'm still on cloud nine, and I want to see it at least another time in the theater, maybe two more times. I don't know. We'll see how time allows. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on it. Is there anything I missed that you wanted to talk about? Let's discuss it in the comment section. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.